How's it going, gamers? Welcome to the dojo. Today, we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the newly released Nintendo Switch Lite, specifically the new Hyrule edition. So here's the thing. I already have one Switch. This is one of my older Switches that I just threw a custom skin on for my partner here. I have the OLED Tears of the Kingdom Special Edition Switch. I have a modded Switch here that I put in a fully transparent case. And then I have my OG Switch, which actually is not here, but that is at a friend's house. And point being, I have a lot of Switches. So did I truthfully need this guy right here? Probably not. I have enough handhelds as is. But the collector in me, the Zelda fan, it's one of the vices I have in my retro/video game collection. So when I saw this come out, I figured I'd pick this up. I don't have or have never had a Switch Lite, so it's going to be the first Switch Lite I have. And this comes at a time where we are at that kind of tail end of the Switch's life cycle. We're probably going to see this and maybe one, if anything, other special editions come out before the Switch 2 hardware is announced and then officially released in 2025. So with that, I thought it was fitting. And with that, let's go ahead and start to unbox it here. So again, here we have it, Switch Lite. I actually picked mine up from Best Buy, and like I said, it was rather easy to get. I was originally going to pre-order this, ended up forgetting to do that while I was on my trip recently, but I was able to walk in today when Best Buy opened locally here and pick it up. Interestingly enough, they had nothing, like no display, nothing crazy in terms of like showcasing that this was even available. As a matter of fact, at least when I came in, and maybe it's because I came in at store open, none of these were even out like on display. These were all behind the counter. I had to ask for it. So I'm not sure if they just didn't put them out there on the store floor. Something was late, but nonetheless, here we have it. And today was a pretty big release day in terms of video games. You had this come out today, and then the bigger news was Sony's PlayStation 5 Pro Bundle and their 30th Anniversary Edition was also announced today, which was a crazy pre-order system. So, okay, here we have it. This is the Switch Lite. You have just its basic packaging here, and then you just lift this up, and there it is. There's the Switch. Now, technically, this is a bundle. I think you get it for just around under $210, and I think it's because it comes with a year of Switch Online. So if I lift up the compartment here, I'm imagining that's what is going to be in here is all the accessories and the codes for Nintendo Switch Online. So there's a code at the bottom here that you can kind of scratch off and get the individual membership plus the expansion pack for 12 months. So you essentially get a year of this all baked in. And of course you get those Zelda games that all come with NSO or Nintendo Switch Online. I'm already a Nintendo Switch member, so nice to have, I guess, a free year and can add that to my subscription. So I'll keep that in there. And then of course you get the charger brick, and that's all you get because in this case, since it is the Nintendo Switch Lite, this is not dockable at all. So it is just straight up a portable handheld. Let me go ahead and set that aside. And here we have the Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. This thing is crazy small and just feels, I know, cliche, but light. And let me just pull it out here. And wow, look at that. That is a very kind of vibrant gold. It's like a almost like a spray painted gold, it looks like. And it has a very like matte finish to it, but then you have this textured finish right here, this glossy texture for the kind of Hyrule and the logo there. So in the back here, super clean. You do have the Nintendo Switch logo still there, but just off to the side. You have your micro SD card slot on the bottom here, and still your standard USB-C port at the bottom. And again, this is not dockable, but that's pretty much it. Outside of that, it's a standard Switch. You have your analogs. Everything just feels crispy and new. Your triggers, your built in here since it's not Joy-Con. And then you have your little Triforce emblem there. Very minimal overall like design, but very sleek. And I am just a sucker for gold here. So here we have it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put next to it for comparison here, or at least under it, the OLED Switch. So here you have the Switch Lite on top of the OLED Switch, so you can kind of get a frame of reference and then see what that difference looks like just size-wise. So Switch Lite definitely and significantly smaller. It almost fits in the OLED screen here. So this is truly like the more portable handheld version, and you can kind of see in terms of comparison of that gold how it stacks up here. So that kind of speckled gold, kind of similar to what you have here on the Tears of the Kingdom controller, at least. Not necessarily the back. I like how they did that kind of back texture here, but here you have the back of the Nintendo Switch Lite here. And then for what it's worth, at least for continuity's sake, like I said, big fan of collecting Zelda edition hardware. Here I have 2 of the Nintendo 3DS Zelda edition. So you have, this is the Hyrule edition for the 3DS, and I believe was this one for, not for Ocarina of Time, or maybe it was, but I believe this is like the Triforce edition. So here you have it. You can kind of see they all kind of follow that similar design language here, and keeping in that gold tones here. So again, the 3DS is stacked up here with the new Switch Lite, and then specifically you can take a look at that back here and how all that kind of compares to 2 former special edition consoles. But I'm actually a pretty big fan of like how portable and light this is. Like I can see myself, even though I have enough Switches at this point, this is nice for like purely traveling on the go. Don't have to worry about docking it. Saves on weight and just overall like compactness here. So yeah, there you have that Switch Lite. For what it's worth, I did also pick up The Legend of Zelda Echoes of the Wisdom, where you actually play as Zelda. So this is actually the first game that I'm going to be trying out on the Switch Lite here, just to kind of see how it plays and get a feel for this kind of handheld form factor when it comes to the Switch. Because admittedly, as I got my Switch originally, I did not really play it handheld. I have played it handheld, but I was always and predominantly have been a docked sort of player. And yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of a different experience here for me. But here we have it booting up. And yeah, just the standard kind of setup process from here. Okay, go ahead and set up here. Notably, the one thing I do like with the Lite versus the standard is the D-pad. So if you're just looking at the directional pad, rather than like having the buttons that you would have on a Joy-Con, you have like an actual D-pad, again, compared to the kind of standard Switches here. And I'm actually a fan of that. So I like that form factor since it's not like a detachable controller. I like having a full cross D-pad there. So I'm going to go ahead and go through setup, but I mean, for the most part, this is the Nintendo Switch Hyrule Edition, or Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. And per the world we live in nowadays, can't even proceed unless I do a system update. So got to do the system update before I can even link my Nintendo account. But I mean, from a design perspective and pure collector's perspective, I'm happy I got this. This is not something I was going to let sit in the box. I mean, I get it. Some people want these to stay sealed and kind of, appreciate and value. I want to display these things. I like to see them like out and about, and whether it's on a shelf or what have you. I'm going to keep the box in this case, but I do actually want to see it, use it every now and again, and see how I fare with like a Switch Lite when I travel and whatnot. So ultimately, it's a cool one to have in the collection, and even though I have more than enough Switches at this point, for just at about $200, I couldn't complain to be able to get this and to so easily get this. I feel like with all the news of the PlayStation 5 released today, this kind of got drowned out. But more excited to throw this on and get to play this and really try this out, because it's kind of, that Link's Awakening style meets an all-new gameplay with Zelda, on top of that having elements of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is my understanding. And a Nintendo sign-in later, here we have it, all set up and good to go. So now I can start throwing some games on here and actually testing this out. And like I said, the first one I'm going to be playing tonight is going to be Echoes of the Wisdom. Echoes of Wisdom. You know what? Why not just throw this unboxing in, since we're already unboxing Zelda-related stuff here. Okay, so a little bit of time has passed, and I got to play with this for the last hour, notably on Echoes of Wisdom specifically, and getting into the first portion of the game. Enjoying it so far. Story is solid. Mechanics are interesting with the whole duplication or echo mechanic. And yeah, it's a nice spin on things playing as Zelda versus Link, which always confused me as a kid. But that's for a separate video, I'm sure. One thing I will say, no surprise here from a technical perspective, this is still 6+ year old hardware. This may be a new Switch Lite that came out today, but there's nothing new internally about this, and it's reflected even in Echoes of Wisdom, a newly released title. You are still getting the kind of frame drops now and again that plagued Link's Awakening, that same engine. I'm hearing it's the same on like Switch OLEDs and whatnot, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully software updates fix a little bit of that, but it is kind of just par for the course with a lot of these newer, later gen Nintendo titles. This hardware is starting to show its age. But in terms of the actual experience playing on this physically, I like this form factor. It is super light, not heavy at all. It's smaller, and I think in an age where screen sizes on everything from phones to handhelds to, so on are getting bigger, it's nice to kind of downsize for once and have something that's smaller, more portable, and has this kind of really sick kind of collector's edition design. So we'll see if this makes its way into my rotation of handhelds at length. But yeah, I am glad I picked it up. The collector me is glad I picked it up. The gamer me is glad I picked it up. Did I need another Switch at the end of the day? 110% no. But I'm happy I got this one specifically. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first look at the Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition that came out today. Drop down in the comments below. What is your favorite Zelda console variant? It can be the 3DSs, it can be, Game Boys, what have you, or maybe it's the Switches. For me personally, it's the Hylian Shield Edition 3DS. That was the one that I was most excited to get in my collection, and I just really love that overall design and how that looks. So leave yours down in the comments below. And with that, gamers, as always, thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more content in the world of gaming, and as always, thanks for watching.